So we are working on blending. So I do have state information already. We have state field in superstore data, but the requirement is just a need of state codes. Okay, so sorry, I should have done Control Z. I have done a mistake because I should have a column name, right? So right click on this and insert. This is a state field, the same naming convention, and this is a state code. Okay, so let me copy this. Control Shift down arrow to copy all the states. Go back to Tableau, Control V. So I do have state field and I have state code. I just want to fetch state codes because, as I said, right, for Alabama, you can see we can also, as I said, we can also do some functionalities where we can fetch state code from state name, but it's not similar. It's not same for all the state codes, because you can see for Maryland it shows MD, and in few cases I can see MY. But if you want to fetch only like the first two characters of the state name, it is similar for Maryland, Massachusetts, and for other states it is MI. So we don't get proper data, right? So that is the reason I just want to fetch state codes from the sample data which we have, or we can um, we can add this particular data in Excel and we can load that into Tableau. And what I meant to say is that the Superstore data is already existing in the database. So I am connecting a Superstore data. Let's consider that is a database, and I need to add this particular data, like uh, the state codes information. So I just need state codes in my maps, so that I don't want to display state names. I just want to display state codes. That's simple. Now you have to perform blending between these two, right? So just double click and rename state codes. So I have state name here. I have state field here. We have 51 records, 51 rows, and just go back to Superstore data. You can see default we got the linking field state, and drag and drop state field here. And you can see there are a couple of records might missing, like that should be a null value, right? So this is one record, I can see null value, and Alaska is also missing. Okay, couple of states are missing because we know, right, this couple of states, it's in the map, it is in a different places. So maybe that is the reason they removed these two in the sample Superstore data. Okay, that's fine. So I do have these state codes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just required, like, I'm going to create a visualization. And you can also ask, like, if we have state codes and state names, what is the use of that? So I want to display the sales information as well, right? So you can drag and, or you can double click sales information. Couple of states we don't have data. If you want, you can filter out exclude null value, so that it will exclude both the nulls. And this is what the state information. And I need the actual requirement is I need state code. So you can drop the state field, and I have state name, state code, and I do have sales information. Got the point, right? So if you want, you can create a visualization, like the map, the filled map, edit locations. Superstore is secondary. Why it is secondary? Okay, let's check on this. Okay. So I just want to display state codes. Go back to state codes, drag and drop state code into label. That's it. This is what my simple requirement. So what I mean to say is you might have multiple data sources. It depends on the requirement where you need to blend the data. In this requirement, I just need state codes, and I can also showcase sales information here. When you mouse over, you can showcase the sales information. But if we have state codes, that looks better. Instead of state name, what I mean to say is instead of state name, if you can display state codes, at least the short names, right? We can display in that particular places. So because as we are facing some of the issues with the smaller states, which we are unable to. For Connecticut, we are not displaying. It's still the state code is also not displaying. Let's do some formatting. Let's say let's minimize some part of data here. Let's use 6. Yeah, at least now you can see this looks better. Go back to presentation mode and you can see Connecticut is also displaying. So almost everything is displaying here, the state codes. If it is a state name, because of the long name, we don't have much space to display Connecticut here or Maryland, or it depends on that. We are unable to display those state codes. Sorry, state names. But this looks very good, right? So state codes might help to understand. If the users prefer state codes, then this is more flexible, and we can add some part of data from Excel, and we can do some blending. We can join the data between these two data sources, that is by making use of data blending. Got it? Any questions on this? So let me know if you have any questions. I will share this Excel file as well. So we have like one primary and multiple secondary. So remember that every time we do have only one primary, and it depends on your decision where individual sheet level, right? If you want to make use of coffee chain as primary, uh, like drag and drop any of the field from coffee chain, then you can place different fields from different data sources. Okay. So what I mean to say is like it depends on primary data source. Like if you are going to drag any of the field from like the first, whatever the data source you're going to drag the first field into sheet, that data source will become as a primary. Okay. And we do have secondary data sources. As you know, like we can make use of linking fields. So go back to data, edit blend relationships. So we can see like 3 different data sources. One is coffee chain, state codes, and superstore. Okay. So we have custom, and let's go for state codes. We have an automatic relationship between coffee chain and state codes by using state. Coffee chain and superstore, we have a custom relationship. Got it, right? Between state codes and coffee chain, I have a state field. Or if you can go back to state codes, between state code and superstore, I have a state field. That is what the common column between state codes and coffee chain and state codes and superstore. It's an automatic relationship. But for coffee chain and superstore, yesterday we have gone through like custom relationship, right? For these two combination, we can see custom relationship, but for other combinations, we can see automatic relationships. You can add as many as the linking fields. There is no restrictions. Yesterday, as I just want to tell you one important point, but anyhow, we are going to discuss this cross database join. So generally they are going to ask what is the default join when we use blending, and what is the difference between blending and joins. I will tell you one important point here. Whenever you are working with blending, data blending, okay, whenever you are going to create any report by using data blending, one of the advantage for data blending is you can use multiple linking fields, okay. That is also possible. That is also, in general, that is also possible with the regular data source which we are connecting. Possible in the sense, whenever you're going to, let's double click here. When you add another table, this is what join, right? Join between the tables. And you have another option, you can see new join. New join, let's say, what is the common column between? Okay, this is a complete different data source, right? What I mean to say is like, we have people, we have person, okay. Oh, sorry, control Z. I'm sorry. Now I'm going to showcase that. We have person, and I'm going to add one more join between person and customer name. Let's see if we have any common records. We're getting 9 records common. The combination of region and the combination of person and customer name, if that matches, so how many records we are able to fetch here? Only 9 records we are getting common with region join, the combination of region and the join between customer name and person from people table. Getting the point, right? My point is, my intention is, yes, whenever you are going to work with joins, you can also add additional join. Okay. Rarely we are going to use this kind of join. It's very rare. We do call it as composite key, or primary key is one. Composite key is like combination of, or one or more key columns is called composite key. So let's say, if we are finding some part of data, let's say I have a customer name with combination of SSN, then it is very fast and I can avoid some duplicates, right? Combination of keys. But we don't, it's very rare, as I say, right? It has to come from the business, and they have to, if they don't have a proper organized data, then this composite key helps to avoid duplicates, okay? What I mean to say is like, it's a very simple basic concept I'm going to tell you now. If we have n number of tables, how many joins we should get? In general, n minus 1 joins, correct?
Yes.
If we have n tables, we should get n minus 1 joins. That's a RDBMS rule. But whenever we are working with blending, this is for joins. Whenever we are working with for blending, if we have n data sources, because we don't have tables, we have tables, but we are dealing with data sources, right? If we have n data sources, how many joins we are going to get? Let's say 2 data sources. How many joins you might expecting? You are expecting that. Let's say I have a coffee chain and superstore, right? This is a perfect example. I have a coffee chain sales. This one. How many joins we do have here? Go back to secondary data source. I have one linking field. That's what the, I mean to say, it's not join the naming convention, but it's a linking field, but it's the same, the functionality is the same, right? Anyhow, without join, we cannot do anything. So relationship or joins or linking field, everything the same. It's a join. We might get n number of joins. It's n in the sense, it's not like, it's not like if we have 2 data sources, we are not going to get 2 joins, any number, okay, any number of joins or any number of linking fields. So if you want to go for multiple linking fields, yes, you can go for multiple linking fields. If you feel that if you are going to link multiple linking fields data sources, then you can go for multiple linking fields. That is also possible for data blending. And one of the advantage for data blending is the flexibility, because please concentrate on this point. Across the sheet level, this is the individual sheet, right? And I can prefer any column as a join. It depends on my requirement. Dynamically, I am using a linking field, correct? You agree, right? So, but joins, whenever you're going to prefer cross database join, let me add a new worksheet. I will compare these things. Okay, cross database join and data blending. So let me connect to Superstore data. Okay. And let's add one more data source here. So whenever you're going to click on add from here, this connection comes under cross database join. Okay. So let's add
It's called
Microsoft
what?
Access. Cross database join, cross database. It's
Okay.
not blending. So you can add multiple data sources. I have sample superstore, I have coffee chain. Okay. So you can see sample superstore tables, coffee chain data. What I'm going to do is I will just compare cross database join with blending. Again, anyhow, I'm going to repeat blending, whatever we have done. Let's drop orders table here. Go back to coffee chain. Let's double click. I don't think it will accept the direct relationship. Now I'm going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop one table, that is coffee chain query, and I'm joining with sample superstore with the coffee chain. Okay, and you can see the color. This is blue and this is in red color, red or orange or whatever the light red, light orange. So you can see I'm performing a join, whether it is inner join or right join or left join, whatever it is, but I'm performing the join between two different data sources, not tables. Yes, we are joining the tables, but what I mean to say is like straight away we are joining two different data sources, correct? But in this case, let's check the join on what column we got. Oh, is that correct? Is that the profit is a common key column between these two? And do you agree profit is a common key column? Or can we go for profit as a common? By default, I got profit. You getting the point? Can we use profit as a join between the tables? Anyone? If it is wrong, that's fine. I don't have any issues with the wrong answers. I will accept the wrong answer so that we can
Yes, we
learn.
can. Yes, we can.
Why?
Because profit has numbers on it, I believe.
Yeah. The first point is, yeah, thanks for the answer. But the first point is profit. Profit is like it's a fact or a measure, and it depends on the sales value. Okay, we don't have a proper discrete value, like it's not an employee ID or employee kind of employee code or employee name. At least we can go for a naming convention to establish joins between the tables, but we don't prefer facts or measures for the relationships. Okay, we don't use profit or sales. That is what very important point. So don't use default. We are getting, yes, I will agree, default we are getting profit as a common key column. But what is the common between these two tables is state field. Okay, let's use state. So now I do have a common key column between, it's not key column, any common column between
So
these two.
So if you want to use state, how do you switch to state?
Click on this drop down. We are aware of the common naming convention, that is what state. And here you can see drop down, click on state. Okay. So now what I mean to say is, whenever you are going to perform join between the tables, whether it is a cross database join between two databases or two different tables, go back to sheet 1. It is not recommended that we are not going to change that particular join every time. Okay. So we are going to use only state as a linking field in the blending, where whenever we are working with data blending. So generally we use state as a linking field between the data sources here, right? So let me break this, mark it as a linking field, but we use state as a linking field between these two data sources. Similarly, this is fixed. So come back to this data source. Every time we are going to use state as a join between these two databases. Okay. So we are performing an inner join, right? So we are performing inner join. So between these two data sources, if I'm going to perform inner join, this is a coffee chain query. This is sample superstore. How many records I'm going to get if I'm going to drag and drop state field from orders table? We performed inner join, and how many records I'm going to fetch whenever I'm going to place state field in rows or columns. Any guess?
49.
Okay. Any other answer?
Half of the number.
Sorry?
Half of the number. Half of 49.
49. Okay. Can we?
I said half, like half of
Oh,
49.
half of
Like
49. Okay, okay. That's an interesting answer. Why it is half?
Because um because at that moment you are getting in half in interception or of
Intersection. Yes,
intercept.
intersection. Yeah. How many records do you remember? How many records we do have in coffee chain? Records in the sense, how many
one,
states?
one was 20, the other one was 49.
Yes, perfect. So if you have 20 states here, if we have 49, this is the intersection, right? How many states you are going to expect?
23.
20,
20. You have 20 here, 49, 20.
20, 20.
Okay.
Yes, just drag and drop state field from orders table. You can able to see 20. So now you can drop state from coffee chain, still you can see 20, correct? But let's say I want to achieve this kind of requirement. So I was using blending, and I have used Superstore as a primary data source state field, and the other one is a secondary data source. So if I want to fetch 49 states from Superstore, and whatever the common records from the coffee chain, whenever you're going to use cross database join, that is what the join between two different data sources, we can prefer left join on top of orders table. That means all the records from the orders table, only the common records, you can see only the common records from the coffee chain. Go back to sheet 1 and now drag and drop. Let's check on this state field from coffee chain. We have 20 records plus we are getting a null value. I'll tell you why we are getting null. But just now you can drag and drop state field from Superstore data. You can see all the 49 states. Clear? Now you can drag and drop state field from coffee chain. You can see here whatever the common data, that is what we are able to achieve the same thing. state from Superstore and state from coffee chain. Wherever you have the data, you're getting those state names. That is what the 20 states. And here also the same. Wherever you have data, you're getting the 20 states. And I can see some data mismatch here, but I will explain that. Double click on sales from Superstore and double click on sales from coffee chain. I see like there is a lot of mismatch whenever I'm using cross database join. I'm not sure why it is happening. Initially, I used to get proper data, proper aggregation. You can see for California, it's a very huge number. I'm not exactly sure why it is behaving something like this whenever we are performing join. Uh, I will check on this actually. So we should get proper aggregation, but I'm not exactly sure why it is behaving. But let's put aside the numbers, okay? Don't worry on the
So
numbers.
so what we're doing right now is join, is not blending, right?
Like, what is the difference here? I'm using join here between two different data sources. Here I'm using blending, okay? What is the exact difference between join and blending is, in one of the case, if you want to use inner join, let's say if you want to perform inner join in blending, anyhow, you have to avoid this null value. Right click, exclude null. You're going to get 20 states data. This is blending, okay? When you go back to like this scenario, cross database join, similarly, if you want to perform inner join, you need to exclude null and you are going to get 20 states. Let's put aside the sales information. I know you're getting a difference in the sales. You can see 20 states. If you want to perform left join, that is all the 49 states. If you want to fetch all the 49 states, then you have to perform left join on top of orders table. Similarly, in
So
blending,
so right here, go back to the other one screen. So right here, when we have interception is blending. When we
this
have
is cross
interception like
database.
this is blending, and but when we have union is join, right? When we have left or right, union is
I
join.
think
But
what
when we
he's
have
trying to ask is if it's centered, is it joint or blending?
One point, sorry, I thank you for that. But one simple point, don't use union. It's a very simple point is, we are joining two tables from two different data sources. The first point. In blending, we are also joining the same, we know, right, edit relationships, but we are using a linking field, okay? In between these two data sources, state as a linking field, and we are also doing the same join between these two data sources, that is cross database join, state as a linking field, okay? It's clear, right? But my point is, if we want to fetch inner join, if you want to get only the common records from both the data sources, you can use a couple of options here. You can directly exclude unwanted data. You can perform inner join straight away so that you are going to get only 20 states. But if you want to get 20 states in whenever you are working with the data blending, what we have to do is inner join, okay? What we have to do is exclude null. Exclude null. So how many states you are getting? 20 states. Let's,
We exclude no when we're using when we're doing data blending, but not when we're doing joint.
yeah, in joins, we don't want to exclude null. We are just right away, we are using inner join, right? The common data we are going to get. In cross database
so
join, no need to go for any filter option. Straight away, we are going to get common data between the tables. Please ask your question, Richard.
so what I was gonna ask was if we decide whether we are doing join or whether we are doing blending based on inner
Inner join.
whether we, inner join or outer join, inner join or left or right join. Does that determine what we are doing? If we go left or right, does that mean we are doing join, or when we go inner join it is blending? That's what I was trying to understand.
Yeah. I'm just relating with data blending and cross database join. First point, I will give you more details on this.
I think, Ramesh,
Yeah, whether
I think the best way to get this right is to have a particular class on join, so
yeah,
that
yeah,
yeah, so that we
before
know
this stage,
exactly what join, why join, and how to do join, and because right now most of us are getting it wrong
no,
on
no, no.
the
It's
concept of
actually
join
simple
in the first
mechanism.
place.
Yeah, I got your point. We actually done that, right? We actually done the joins, but I will explain one more time. That's not an issue. But let's put aside joins, okay? Let's put aside the concept here. Just look into the numbers, okay? Simple. I'm just relating cross database join and data blending. So let's come back to data blending. Let's put aside cross database join. Let me right click, duplicate the sheet, okay? So just want to clarify a few of the things here. So what is the primary data source we have? Superstore.
First off,
Coffee chain, we have 20 states. Superstore, we have 49. You remember, right? You are very clear on this. The
Yes.
requirement is if you want to fetch all the 49 states, which data source you are going to prefer?
first off,
Superstore data. That is the reason I use primary. Go back to cross database join. I'm not using blending here. That directly I'm joining two different data sources. If I want to fetch 49 states, what I have to do? What join I have to do? In orders table, how many records we do have? How many states? 49. In coffee chain, we have 20. The inner join is what are all the common records we do have in both the data sources. We know that we have 20 states in coffee chain. At least we should get minimum 20 or maybe less than 20 if that particular state is not available in orders table. I will come back to inner join. Anyhow, I'm going to explain one more time join. At least if you are going to use inner join, the maximum we are going to get is 20. Let's come back to sheet 1 and check here. We are getting 20 records. But my requirement is if I want to fetch all the 49 states, go back to data source. What is the main table? Orders table, we have 49 states. I will use that particular table and I'm going to perform inner join. You can see the circle, the complete, for orders table, the complete circle is filled. That means we are going to get all the records from the orders table, only the common records from the coffee chain. So go back to sheet 1 and you can see all the 49 states. Now let's go back to data blending. If I want to go for inner join in blending, it's not, we don't have a direct option to perform inner join, okay? Whether you need to, when you prefer coffee chain as a primary, this will perform left join on top of coffee chain. When you use superstore as primary, this will perform left join as on top of superstore. But if you want to perform inner join in blending, just exclude null. You have to apply the filter. Just exclude null value. How many records we are getting here? 20. What join we are using here? What join
Left.
we are using? Left join.
we're using that.
Still you can go for left join in cross database join. But if you want to perform inner join, do the same thing, exclude null, you are going to see 20 rows. That is what I just want to compare, that data blending and cross database join is almost the same. Almost the same, but if you want to perform inner join, exclude null value so that you will get inner join. This is also the same inner join. It's clear, right? I'll come back to multiple points, but is that clear?
Yeah.
The other point is we are not going to change the join. What is the join here? State. The recommended, when most of the cases we are going to perform left join, okay? Because at least we are going to get all the records from the left table and the common data. So that is the reason mostly we are going to fetch, we are going to use left join on top of fact table or the main table, primary table. Let's put aside that point. My intention is, what is the join we are using? State. This is data blending. I'm using join, I'm using state as a common key column or a join between these two tables. Remember, whenever you are going to perform joins between the tables, okay, we are not going to change the join dynamically. That's it. That's it. Like, we are not going to change every time, come back to data source. Now I don't want to use state field as state as a join. I want to use market from here and I want to use region from here. That's not correct. If you are going to use join, that's it. That is the final one. Okay. You don't want to change anything. So every time you have to use the state as a join between these two tables. That is what cross database join. We don't use multiple joins, or we don't switch the joins in cross database join. If you know, if you are aware of that, hey, this is the common key column, we are going to use only that particular common or only that join between the tables. That is the reason I just informed that, mentioned that if we have two tables, we should get only one join. That is what, if you are going to perform joins, if you are going to use joins, if we have only one single join here, but additionally, as I said, you can add, but that's fixed actually. Whatever the join you are going to use in cross database join, it is fixed. We are not going to change in any case. Maybe if you're not going to get proper data, if you want to try, you can try, but dynamically, we are not going to change the joins between the tables. That is fixed, okay, with cross database join. But one of the flexibility with the data blending is we can make use of multiple linking fields. Now for this report, I used state as a linking field, and you have another report. Let's create another report, and I can use market as a linking field. Superstore data, now I can see I'm getting region as a linking field or market as a linking field, and I can use sales information. So data blending is more flexible in terms of if you want to switch the linking field, if that kind of a data, if you have, you can prefer data blending. And I can tell you more details, but you might get more confusion over this. But cross database join, if you have a proper data, if you want to go for only one single join or a proper join, you can prefer cross database join. And most of the developers are nowadays, they are working on cross database join. But I will tell you the advantage of blending maybe on Monday. So no worries about that. I will tell you what I have done for John's requirement. Okay. For in terms of John's case, like he initially worked for cross database join, and I said like, hey, let's switch back to data blending. So don't go for cross database join. The join or the linking field is only one column. We have a SEO ID or employee ID kind of a data. But why I used blending in the sense, I want to switch the data source every time. Okay. I want to, the whatever the secondary data source, right? The secondary data source, like I want to switch every time I want to replace this data source. If you have a separate data source, you can replace. If you are going to use cross database join, if you are going to use join between the tables, join between two data sources, it's tough to switch the data source because it will comes under one single, whatever the join we performed, right? It will comes under one single database. That is what we cannot switch the data source. We cannot switch one data source if you are joining between, if you are performing joins between two different data sources. So we cannot switch only this data sources. It's tough. That is what my point. At least I hope you will get some points. I do hope you got some clarification on joins. Join, remember it is fixed, okay? We are not going to switch the join every time, but whenever we are working with blending, we have a flexibility. That is what I mean to say. I worked a lot of cases and I use blending. So most of the people, they do recommend like joins, cross database join, but I know the importance of blending. That is the reason why I do prefer blending. Okay. Any questions? What I can do is this coming Monday, I will showcase what is the advantage of cross database join. I will replace the data source. Okay. I will do practical example.
Yeah, that would be better because right now it looks like the joint take away everything I understood about blending. So
Yeah, got it. So let's put aside
the blended the joint came in and replace what I understood about
and
blending
blend the joining.
and the blending join the joining again. So
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do a practical example on Monday.
yeah, like McHenry said, maybe what we gotta do is what we'll do is we'll do blending again, and as soon as we finish blending, then we'll go all the way and do join, so that way we can be able to separate the two immediately.
Sure, I will do that. Yeah.
Maybe by Monday, we'll just go all the way blending again, finish it up, then do. As soon as we finish that, then we'll do join immediately, so that way we'll be able to separate all this. Like right now, two of them just messed up in my head.
That's true. We'll do that. Yeah. Okay.
Then as soon as we finish the two, then we'll be able to separate that, ask our question, and get it done immediately. Because if we do it in two different days, trying to go, trying to two, if we do it in two different days, it might be more difficult as well again. But if we do the two the same time, that way we'll be able to separate the two immediately.
Mostly you'll get more clarity on Monday because we almost done the same thing. We are going to repeat.
Yeah,
We'll get more
yeah,
clarity on Monday. Yes.
yeah, that's true.